Hey guys, what's up? James here, and today we're going to take a look at 5 things that you need to do before you start your ecom business. So first thing first, we're going to go straight into it with number 1, choosing a product or building a brand. So do you already have a product in mind? Have you seen something that you want to sell, or have you noticed a gap in the market? You have to have one of 2 things, either a very convincing, unique selling point or a unique original product. And the majority of new successful businesses are the former: good marketing and a unique selling point. Yes, you might find some unique products that stands out, but they're very hard to come by. Majority of products have already been produced. You might find something unique like the Udi. It doesn't reinvent the wheel, but it's a big, basically blanket kind of hoodie, which is unique in its own sense, and that provided enough uniqueness to sell thousands and thousands of units. But for the most part, stick with what's worked. Just have a slightly new angle or a new audience, because unique products are hard to come by, as I said, but audiences and marketing towards them is much simpler. Now, if you've spotted a gap in the market, something you believe to be a gap in the market, then you need to test that presumption. If you want to fill that gap, then you need to test that that gap is actually there. So how do we do that? With 2. Product market fit. You want to let the market decide whether it actually wants the product or not. In The Lean Startup by Eric Ries, he talks about approaching a new product from an MVP angle. MVP stands for minimum viable product. Now, with regards to the book, he's actually talking about apps and services and products like that, not direct-to-consumer brands as such. But it still applies. Instead of having a team from research and development department of a big company spend months, sometimes even years, planning, testing, bringing in focus groups to chat to them, creating a polished product, and then releasing it to absolute silence, the MVP model, as the name suggests, you start with the minimum viable product, the smallest, earliest version of a product possible that you can put out into the market and get feedback from. So this approach will look a little different depending on the product that you're trying to sell, but the approach itself will still be roughly the same. So let's say you're trying to sell personalized hats for stag do's or bachelor parties. You choose a few designs, get them made up by a company local, and get them sent to you. Check the quality, get some photos, get some videos for marketing, and then you market them online on social media to your key demographic. You can do this organically if you already have an audience in the right space, and that might be why some of you are watching this video. You just want to monetize an audience, or you can pay £50 to £200 on some paid adverts on Instagram, TikTok, Twitter, Facebook, wherever, and see what sort of feedback you get. This might be sales, comments, shares, likes, whatever. Now, if you want to test it with sales, then you will need to sign up to an online shop like Shopify, for instance, and put them actually on there to purchase if you want to test the sales portion of it. But you can do this pretty simply. They have 30-day free trials or £1 a month for 3 months, things like that. There's always deals on these sites for people starting, so there's an opportunity for you to do that. Now, this should give you some feedback and some idea of the demand for the product. It might take posting regularly on social media for a few weeks or even a few ads. It might not just be sold, or you might not get feedback immediately, so you might have to keep on at it for a few weeks, but you will get feedback, and that will give you some direction. Number 3, choose your marketing method. So you found your product and the market has decided that, yeah, it's interested. There's some demand there. Now you have to decide which platforms to market on. Now, I'm biased towards internet and social media marketing, but you might have a product in a niche that, it's actually better if you do some print marketing or something like that. I'm no expert there, so I'm going to leave that to the experts, and you can go search YouTube for something with regards to that. Today, we're going to focus on social media marketing. The product and the age of your target audience is going to determine what platforms you market on. I believe as a business, it makes sense to be on as many social media platforms as you can be. However, at first, it's very time consuming trying to build an audience on multiple different platforms. Focusing on one platform to start with is probably going to yield a bit better results, and it will be easier than spreading yourself too thin trying to market on all of them in one go. Now, this is obviously a moot point if you have the funds and the money to pay for an agency or for some freelancers to help you out with that. But for those who don't have that money and are bootstrapping to start with, then yeah, I think start with 1 or 2 platforms. Don't spread yourself too thin, and you can build from there when you've built up an audience. And if you are going to do sort of 2 platforms, I suggest that those 2 platforms are easy to repurpose content for. So if you're doing Instagram Reels, then Instagram and TikTok would be good because you can repurpose the videos across. If you're on something like Reddit or Medium, then potentially you can repurpose the content and your marketing onto Twitter as well. And which platform you use as a solopreneur building up an e-com store and building up your audience on social media is going to depend on the skills that you have. If you're bootstrapping and learning it all yourself, you can't spend all your time learning video editing to then go on YouTube or Instagram or TikTok. You have to do something that you already have skills in or that are easy skills to acquire. Number 4, choose where to sell. Now, this is a whole video in itself, so I'm not going to go into too much detail. I probably will do a video on this soon though, but you're going to have to choose which platform to sell on. You'll have to look at Shopify, Etsy, Amazon, all these different marketplaces and different platforms, and you'll have to choose which one's the best for you. They all have different pros and cons, different fees and ecosystems for you to learn. So you can check out any number of comparison videos online, look at those pros and cons, work out which one's best for you, your product, your store, how you want to run things, and go from there. Lastly, number 5, how to fulfill your orders. So you'll need to eventually get products into the hands of customers. As this video is a 5 things to do before you start, this is more theoretical. What are the options and will it be plausible beforehand? For normal products, you can use most postal services or fulfillment centers. The difference being you pack the products and you send them yourself, or you store all the stock at the fulfillment center and they will pick, pack and fulfill that order for you. Both have their pros and cons too. Doing the labor yourself takes time and energy, but obviously using a fulfillment center costs money and they'll take a fee. For bigger products or age restrictions, you're going to have to check what those regulations are. You're going to have to check if that's something that you can ship locally and internationally before you start your business. There's no point in starting it and then realizing you can't actually sell that product. It's illegal, you can't ship it, things like that. You can't sell a ton of anime branded throwing stars and then realize that UPS cannot send them. And that is all 5. If you're enjoying the ecom series, then let me know by hitting like below. I've been James and I'll catch you on the next one. Cheers.